here's what's happening. I'm making the back here, the length is long, so I'm making it travel up and over the head shape. It's traveling around an object instead of straight to an object, so therefore it's longer. It takes a longer time to get to my cutting position. Anytime hair touches the head shape, you guys, the hair and the outside perimeter will take on the head shape. So I can cut her fringe, her length, her layers, and everything at the same time. But usually there's a catch. I know the back is not going to reach my cutting position, right? And notice how I have this comb. It's symmetrically combed. Both sides are combed at the same angle. So I can cut it right here if I want to. I can bring it to this point and cut a straight line. She'll have a fringe, which I've elevated for softness, but the length of the sides only coming to my cutting position, I will cut a hole in her sides. And you guys ever cut a hole in someone's design? Yeah, raise your hands, don't lie. We call it what? A discovery, it's not a mistake.
Yes.
Okay, so here's what happens. I'm elevating the fringe because I want it to be soft. I have to make these sides travel a further distance so I don't cut into her length. So watch what we're gonna do. I'm bringing it to an elevation in the front. Now you can move this. I can move it forward, I can move it back. Understanding what's happening within a design. And come to one of our classes, we'll share everything with you and you'll have a true understanding of that. And I'm just gonna show you how simple long hair can be made. I'm taking everything. The center of my comb goes to the center of the section. I'm making sure I have control over it. Then I'm going to bring it down to her chin. I told her I would cut her length at her chin. If I cut it at her chin, then I know she can tuck it behind her ear and she'll be a happy camper. So I'm bringing it all to one point. To make the sides travel further, I'm actually twisting the hair. So now each side is traveling to the opposite side, which gives me that length that I'm worried about cutting off in through the back profile. If you want to move out and keep it longer and you're a little nervous, okay, which you shouldn't be because it's not your hair, all right? Bring it to a certain point and just trust the force, Luke. And I'm just cutting a straight line there. So without any texturize or anything, the haircut would be done, okay? And how many mistakes did I make? One big one if I made a mistake, right? But there's not a chance for error here, because if I cut it one time, I told her fringe would hit down by her chin. Is it hitting down by her chin? Yes. I told her I would not leave the sides really thin, nor cut a hole in her side profile. Is there a hole cut in her side profile? No. Is she blended from front to back? Yes, I took it all at one time and cut it once. So I know that I'm getting a beautiful shorter to longer feel immediately. I know that the layers are rounded. So look at the sides, guys. Are these layers rounded? They're rounded. Why? Because they wrapped around a rounded head shape. So therefore, those fine, thin hair clients now have this volume because the layers weren't cut flat and they weren't cut concave. They were cut convex, outward moving, because I used her head shape. And it really is quite not just going in there and removing hair for the sake of removing hair so that it moves. I want it to move in a certain direction. Here I want to create some volume in the hair. So we understand that shorter hair underneath will support longer hair. So instead of just going in there with some texturizing shears and holding that section straight out from the head shape and just popping it with some blenders, which we do for this collection cut, I thought it'd be interesting. Everyone knows how to take blenders, pop it once in the middle, 2 or 3 times at the ends, just to release some of the density. I want to give this some direction. I want to give it some usefulness to the texture versus just negative space. So I'm going to release the hairline. I don't need to texture that. I'm going to use my fingers to create horizontal sections. 1 finger will create 2, 2 fingers will create 3. This is your choice. We can show you how, can't show you how much. So I'm cutting up and out. So I want that hair to have that volume, that underneath hair to support, and I want the hair to move a little bit. It's so easy. Keep your shears vertical, insert that, let it fall out of your fingers, and then just let your shears do the work.
So guys, what I want to show you is
also understand if you have a client that's got that huge bulky hair and you layer it down, you're trying to get those skinny layers, but her hair still has that unwanted volume. I wouldn't cut up and out on that hair, would I? I don't want to create more volume, I want to create less volume. So it actually cut down and out. So here's a rule, if I'm cutting up and out, like I'm just sharing with you, your thumb goes down when you're creating the sections. Thumb goes down, and again, I can create 2, 3, or 4 sections. I created 4. I want lots of undercuts in there. I really want that hair to move. So I'm keeping it elevated, and again, doing this. If I wanted it to lay flatter, I wanted that hair to be a little bit more collapsed and maybe kick out a little bit, I would actually cut down and out. So when you're cutting down and out, then your thumb goes up and you're changing your movement. Watch this. 4 sections, that's cutting up. Cutting down, my thumb goes up. I'm grabbing 4 sections, and now I can come in here and I can cut down and out as I'm pulling it out of my fingers. That's gonna make it collapse. I don't want the sides to collapse because she doesn't have a lot of density or anyhow. So that's why I'm going in and cutting up and out within this design. So you have a choice now as far as texturizing. I'm gonna texturize